Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered on the Legend Sport channel. I'm Joe. We are now entering part 5 of our playthrough of D-Day at Tarawa by Decision Games, designed by John Butterfield, map graphics by Joe Youst. This is the second edition from 2017. We will be entering turn number 8 here. So 7 turns in. There are 3 turns remaining in what would be the first waves scenario. Depending on how things go, and I would say things are going fairly well right now, we will probably go into the the full campaign essentially and play the extended turns, which begin on turn 11 when the game complexity takes it up a notch and things get a little bit more interesting. So to pick up where we left off, we are in turn number 8. It is 12:30. We are 3.5 hours into D-Day here. Red Beach 3, we have a decent beachhead going on Red Beach 3. Red Beach 2, we landed some units during turn 6 and 7, which helped kind of flesh out what was looking pretty thin there on Red Beach 2. And Red Beach 1, also known as the Bird's Beak, we are also making some progress there. I feel like the key on the Bird's Beak is to be patient, and I am trying to follow that philosophy. We do have Major Ryan there, who is kind of holding things together, and there's still some good Japanese power left on the Bird's Beak and on Red Beach 2. Red Beach 3, most of the Japanese units that were close to the beach have been eliminated, and we are making progress to maybe cutting the island in half. That's the goal. The goal is to conquer as much of this as we can. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. We do not have any LVTs due to land until turn 17, so there will not be a U.S. amphibious operations phase for a while. So we will actually begin turn 8 with the event phase. And we flip a card, and we are still in turn 2 to 10, and we take a naval fire marker. We finally got something good for the U.S. Well, we actually got something good before, but this is our naval gunfire marker, so we now possess one of these that we can use in support of one of our attacks. It gives us a nice, powerful barrage that we can employ there. So I will keep that on hand as that is useful, and we will move to the Japanese fire phase. Okay, well, let me pick this up here. So we have a red with the armor symbol, a double blue with the A, and a brown with the star symbol. Okay, so as always, and the diamond is the unit activator for the US. So as always, the armor symbol means that tanks can be hit. Double means that you need to have either a unit and a depth marker or a connected, combined position rather, which has two positions connected that both possess a Japanese unit. And the star indicates that a hero or headquarters may be hit in an attack. And the diamond would indicate that only diamond symboled US units may be struck in this only on steady fire. Intense fire can hit anything. So we start with red. Okay, so first of all, let's just check out what we have diamond wise. So we have one here. We also have another one there. And that's it for that side. Okay. We have a unit here with a diamond. That's a diamond. We have a diamond here and one here, 2 here actually on this beach hex. Amphibious phase. He gets to move up 3 hexes in this direction towards the beach. Okay, so he will land. He'll hit the beach next turn. We have a diamond here. And I believe we have another one here under Ryan's command. We have 2 actually. Yeah. So plenty of potential targets there for the Japanese. Okay, so we're looking at red first. So we have red here, but it's disrupted. We have a red here, undisrupted, and here as well. So this is going to be bad news for my friend right here, and possibly this fellow as well. Our red field of fire projects this way out into this whole area, so he is definitely in the crosshairs, so to speak. So as you can see, we do have an unrevealed Japanese unit with a depth marker here. We also have a tank as well in a red firing spot. This unit, as far as red goes, is only a steady fire symbol, the unfilled circle, unfilled firing dot. So because they're a triangle, it's a miss. Now, the same is true for my friend right here, who has a circle symbol, so he's also a miss. Now, I believe that that takes care of that particular scenario there. So then we would move on to other reds. We have a red here as well with an artillery marker on it. And it does have the ability to reach into this hex, so it will take a hit. And we will give it to Company I. So Company I gets a hit, down to 3 steps for Company I. And we'll put Major Ryan back up on here. They took this hex by close combat last turn. Okay. And I believe that's all for red. We do have this guy up here. So that's an inland hex. So if we look here, we have no symbol. No symbol. Well, we have an armor symbol. So fire may hit armor. On an inland position may hit armor, but they don't have any other actions for occupied or unoccupied without units in their field of fire. An armor unit in that position could fire or advance. This armor unit fired. That is the only armor unit the Japanese have left. They began the game with 3. Okay, so we move on to blue, double blue here. So we have a single blue there. We have a single unoccupied blue there. We have a double here, but only 1 unit. We have an unoccupied position there. We have an unoccupied position here. We have one here that's disrupted. And I believe that is it. And so there will be no fire blue-wise. And we move on to brown. So as far as the browns go, we have a brown here. Okay. Which cannot reach that hex. It looks like its field of fire ends here, so it can't reach that. Not that it could anyway, because this one has a circle symbol. Going in this direction, it can't reach these guys. And I don't see, well, here we have one here. And again, because the symbol there is a star symbol, so the star symbol would just allow them to hit a leader. They still have no actions from an inland or coastal position unless the Americans have a unit in range, which they do not. So that will end the Japanese fire turn. That was not too bad for the Americans. We're going to move this up here to the action phase for turn 8 for the US. Okay. So now, as always, we have our heroes here. We have Colonel Hall here commanding the 8th Regiment of the 2nd Marine Division, and Colonel Shube commanding the 2nd Regiment of the 2nd Marine Division. And then we have Major Hall, who is basically holding down the fort over here with what we have here on Red Beach number 1. But he can act as a headquarters as far as enabling free moves for the units around him. So with Colonel Hall, we have this stack can move for free, his stack, and these two as well. Okay, so obviously the target here is going to be this unit right there. It's already disrupted. I know that that one can only be taken by close combat if we actually pick him up. You can see here on his chit, there's a CC that indicates he can only be captured by or destroyed by close combat. So we will be assaulting his hex this turn. So I do have Colonel Hall here. I am going to send, I'm going to actually send Company E, which has only one step, as well as my heavy weapons, Company M. And I'm going to assault with those two, and I won't use these other ones. It's not necessary. So I'm just going to keep that as that for now. I will I use a smoke marker just to denote that that was a move, but it's a free move. All right. Someone actually mentioned using bingo chips. I have not had a chance to go pick some of those up, but that is an excellent idea for kind of denoting what's going on, and because they're somewhat transparent, you can actually see through them and read what's on the counter, which that's just an excellent idea. From the I got that from the Solitaire group on Facebook. So I would say the guy's name who said it, but I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, and I don't have my phone in front of me to check it at the moment. So whoever you are, if you're watching this, thumbs up, and thank you for that suggestion. All right, so moving on here to Colonel Shube for the moment. I have not determined yet what I'm doing with these guys over here. Colonel Shube, we are going to assault this unit. Same thing, except he does not have a close combat requirement. He has flank and bazooka, but that really only comes into effect when you're doing a fire attack. We're not doing a fire attack. We're close combat. We're assaulting this guy. I'm not going to use my engineers. I am going to use my my infantry here in Company G, and that is literally the only unit I'm going to send in there. It's a full strength company, and it's going to be a 4-to-1 combat. So I like my odds there. Now over here we have a unit that I'm going to actually use a not free move for. And that is this unit here, Company B. And what Company B is going to do is they're going to fire on this hex right here. And I'm going to use my tank as well, which does have a free move. So we'll put my smoke marker on the tank. And a U.S. action taken on my Company B of the 1st Battalion, 2nd Marines. And then we will, I'm actually going to use a second one to move this unit to the beach. I want to get him out of the water. He hits the beach here. I will use my second action taken on him. Okay, so that leaves me with one action, and I will use my one action here by having my tank and my engineer fire on this hex. So that is another fire attack here. And I do that. That is my third action taken. I should use the action taken for that. Actually, use my action taken for that one. And so those are my three actions that I can't do anything else about. Now what I'm going to do here with Major Ryan is they'll lose this disrupted marker at the end of the turn, and that's all I'm going to do with that for right now. I do need to activate these guys, so I will probably move his whole stack here maybe, so that on turn 10 I'll be able to then move these guys up. We need to start worrying about clearing some of this bird's beak out. And that is going to be an important part of what I need to do going forward. So Back over here with Colonel Hall, we have a 2-step infantry right here, and I could move him into this hex where he would be safe from this one, but not safe from that one. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move this guy here. Okay. I'm going to actually move Hall and Company K into the hex that unit just vacated. I'm going to move my engineer unit here. Okay. We'll move the tank this way and then here. Okay. All right. So that's going to be the end of my moving for this phase, and now we'll do our attacks. So we have a close combat here, we have a fire attack here, and we have a fire attack here. So we have a 2 and a 7 makes 9. So 9, and then we flip the Japanese unit. And it is demolition and flamethrower. So we don't have either one of those. So that's fine. So that's clear terrain, so there is no bonus to them. That's just a 2. So it's still 9 to 2. So that's at least double. But we need to we don't have to reveal the depth marker, but we do disrupt that unit. So that is really all I was kind of hoping to do anyway, is disrupt him on this turn. Next turn, the goal, the sights will be set higher on the next turn. So now we'll do over here where I have my my tank, and in the same hex we have an engineer, so we have a total firepower of 6 against 2. Again, we do not have the mortar, we do have the bazooka, so that's still a no. Okay, so again, it's no. It's a 4 to 2. In jungle, neither one of those is actually infantry anyway. So it's a 6 to 2, which is more great, at least double. So again, we disrupt. So that's a disruption, and we move on to our close combat, which is here. One of them is here. And in this case, we have a 4-step unit attacking a disrupted 2-step unit. So the Japanese get 1 for that. They get 1 and only 1. And the US gets 4. So it's a 4 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Japanese always go first. So Japanese go first. The color here is red. Oh wait, that's the wrong hex. Sorry. The color is blue. There is no blue. So, and we have a blue for the American. Close combat, conscripts surrender. So conscripts are the 111. Oh, they're not conscripts, so they don't surrender for that. However, there's a blue, so they are eliminated. So we take that. We will put them up here. And I will return these to the pile. Okay, so now we are attacking this hex. Again, with close combat. We have a 3 and a 1, so that's 4. One of those is actually no, he's just got a mortar. It's an infantry company, very well reduced. They're disrupted, and they are 111p. So if they were to get the conscript event, they would retire. They're also a headquarter. So what we have to do here is it's still a 4 to 1. So we'll do that same as we just did, 4-1. The color this time is red. So they get 1. The Americans get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So they draw a red, close combat. There is an event, but we're not withdrawing. So the Americans will take a hit. So I'm actually just going to eliminate this unit. Company E, I'm just going to eliminate it. I'll keep my 3-step Company M, heavy weapons. Because I might as well. So we're still looking for a red. We don't get it here. We do get it here. So that is what we were looking for. So Company M takes our Japanese headquarters out for the 111P. Okay, and that disrupted counter goes away as well. But the U.S. gets a disruption counter here for Company M. All right. And that ends the action phase for turn 8. It also ends turn 8. We reset back to the amphibious phase. We move to turn 9. We're back at the amphibious phase again. There is no amphibious phase, but we do reveal the Japanese R marker, which I knew was there. And we know I is this one because the infiltration always comes last. That comes in turn 11. So let me put these back. And we'll flip a card for our event. It's still 2-10. Intense Japanese fire limits U.S. land movement to 1 hex this turn. So that kind of stinks, but we'll deal. All right, so now we go to the fire phase for the Japanese. And we have a red with the R, which is now active, double purple with the armor, and a green M. So they have 2 potential non-firing actions this turn. Okay, so red R. Red. Okay, so we know we've got reds here who can fire. The U.S. symbol, again, is a diamond. So again, we know that they're not going to be able to hit these 2, just like they weren't able to hit them before. That makes things a little easier. So we need to check what R can do, though. So over here, we do have, they do have the ability to reinforce, place reserve unit, and depth marker in position in Japanese communication. That's key because this hex right here would not be in Japanese communication. This one would. All right, so I'm going to give them a coastal depth. All right, and now we look at the inland positions. So we're looking at inland now. So that would be an inland over there. This is an inland, but it's unoccupied. That one already got something. So we would move now to our inland position, unoccupied, in Japanese communication, and within 2 hexes of a U.S. unit would get a reinforcement. Again, this would be a potential one, but it's further than 2 hexes. This would be one. It's also further than 2 hexes. That are in communication. This one, again, is not in communication because of the U.S. units sitting right here. So I believe that they don't actually get any. Oh, wait, they do get one here. They get one here. That's an inland position. Okay, so they get a reserve unit and a depth marker. Okay, so they're going to get an inland depth. Oops, Butterfingers. Okay, they get an inland depth and they get a reserve unit. Okay, so that's not great for me. All right, but it is what it is. So now we move to purple. Okay, and the purple has an armor symbol. So that just means they can hit a tank. And I don't think they have any purple units that are actually close enough to hit any American units. We have one here, but their field of fire doesn't extend far enough to hit those units there. And everything else is not purple. They have purple up here. purple here. So we don't have anything there. And again, anything that doesn't have a letter is just no action. All right, so we move on to M and green. So we're looking at green with the potential for M, which is can be mortar fire or muster, or if it's a tank, multiple fire. So green is the color. So we're looking for green Japanese hexes, and again, they don't have a lot. They have one here that's unoccupied. So I'll check that here in a second. Those are American occupied. These are unoccupied. That's occupied, but far away from a U.S. unit. So again, we're looking at M now, coastal position. So we have coastal positions here, but they're unoccupied, and within 2 hexes of a unit, they would get no action. So there's nobody. They're not getting anything else, basically. They are done for this turn because we have green up here, but again, not within 2 hexes of an American unit. So we are going to move on to the U.S. action phase. Again, this is getting to be a situation where my troops are spread out a little bit more than I need to be, especially over here on the bird's beak. I need them to be a little bit tighter, which isn't the case right now. So what we can do over here with Colonel Hall, because we have units in the vicinity here, is I want to try and do something with these 2 here. And then I'm going to probably just maybe push north, or south rather. I'm so used to up being north, but it's south in this game. So these 2 units get free moves, but that's an engineer. So I'm going to leave that here, and eventually he's going to end up on the beach, so that I can take advantage of him being an engineer with the support. And we're going to take our tank, and we're just going to go up here, right next to that unit. And then what else we'll do here with Major Hall is we will, what do we have under here? We have Company K, full strength. Okay, so we will take Company K, and we're going to move them here. So they have 4, so they'll move here. That'll make 5. So that's 5 steps there. And then I'm going to actually move Major Hall, or Colonel Hall rather, here, I believe. And I'll just remove this disruption. I'm not gonna move that unit. I know it was disrupted, so that's its free removal of disruption. All right, so now with Colonel Shube has a couple of infantry companies with him, actually 3 and 2, right? So that's 5. So their firepower is 8. I think what I'll have them do is fire on this hex. So they will fire on that hex. I'm going to take my tank and I'm going to move it here. And that is also a free move. So I would have a free move here as well. And I'm going to use that, and I'm going to actually move my engineers down here to the beach. Or near the beach, rather. All right, so I'm going to take my tank and my Company D, and we are going to move up here. So we went 2 hex move. Yeah, we'll leave Company I there, and we will move. We'll move 1, 2. We'll move here. That way, I get a free move with all 3 of these, and I can start pushing up the bird's beak, and use this guy to continue to exert control here, and kind of hold that Japanese unit in place. Actually, with his free move, I'm going to shoot at that guy, and I believe that will be my entire move. So we can start resolving. So I know we have a fire attack here. So I'll remove this. And we have a strength of 3. And 5 is 8. We flip our unit. Okay. This is a 4. So that's a strong unit. That's not great for me. It's a 4 and it has a flanker and a radio. Okay. A flank and radio. If we were to be trying to destroy it, which would be ideal, but it ain't going to happen. Because for one thing, we're not flanking them, although we could next turn maybe. Or not next turn, but by turn 11, we could probably get in position to flank them and attack. But we do have a radio thanks to Colonel Shube here. So that's 8 and 4 so far. And I don't think we're going to be able to reveal the depth marker. So here on the US chart, again, it's no because we don't have flanking. So our tank strength is, he's in a building too. So I think we're pretty much even, actually. In a building, unit strength double, depth is not. So yes, we got an 8 on an 8, which makes it even, and that is going to actually disrupt my U.S. attackers and do nothing to the defenders. So that was an epic fail. However, next turn we are going to flank these guys, and then things will be a little different because I have units here that I can use. So our next attack would be this fire attack over here. We have 5 and 1. And that's a 111p as well. And they are in trees. So that's still going to be at least double. Their requirement is a machine gun. This unit does have the machine gun. So we meet the requirement. So here we have a yes. Our attack strength is at least double. We have to reveal the depth marker, which is a 2. So now it's a 5-3, so it's greater but not double. So depth marker eliminated, depth and unit disrupted. So they lose their depth marker and they get disrupted. Okay. Small victories. And so we have a close combat here. So we've got 4 and 1 plus a depth marker. Oh, we do have to flip it to check their strength. That's right. So there are 2 and a 1 is a 3. So they don't get a bonus for strength, and it's still, so it's 4-2 in terms of cards. So we'll draw those. Okay, so 1, 2. All right, Japanese go first. Our color is red. CC reinforce figures. All right. So in a reinforce, they get a card and we lose a card. They already have a depth marker, so we're going to lose this card. We'll draw one for the Japanese, and now the Americans go. It is a red, so they're going to lose their depth marker. Now we roll, we flip for them. No red, no damage. No red, no event, no damage. They get a red. So we lose a step. We lose a step. And now, if this is a red, then we win. If not, it's exhaustion. It is a red. They also get another card, but it wouldn't matter because the unit gets eliminated. So it goes over here, and we put a disruption on the American unit. Okay, so that ends turn number 9. Okay, let's get turn number 10 underway. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my card for the event. Okay, so this one says remove all disruption from, or remove disruption from all Japanese units. All right, so let's see. We've got one here. And we've got one here. And that was not helpful. Okay, so moving on. We are now in the Japanese fire phase. So we have an R in orange or yellow. Kind of hard to tell the difference. That looks orangey to me. On the board, it looks more yellow. So we have that. We have a double blue I, a double green P. The I does not take effect until turn 11. So we have the possible R actions and the possible P actions. And we also have some artillery as well. So I don't think they have 8, to be honest, because I've destroyed a bunch of them. So we'll see. We'll see about that. All right. So the triangle is the symbol that will target American units. So we have some. We have here, here, here. We'll look at orange first or yellow, depending. I call them yellow. I guess it's a kind of a yellowy orange color. Anyway, it also has the R. So R on an unoccupied position such as this one, which is within 2 hexes of an American unit, that's probably going to mean that something is going to happen in that hex. We also have one over here. So I'll do the firing first. So we have an intense fire dot here with this unit firing on our armored unit. Now, because it's intense fire, it takes damage on all types. Steady fire would only impact infantry units, non-armored units, essentially. So anything but tanks. So in this case, because it is a steady, an intense fire location, we actually lose our tank. So we lost a tank there. That's not great, but it is what it is. So we will move on. So we have one here in an occupied hex that's not within 2 of an American unit. We have an unoccupied up here. We have a couple more unoccupied. This one is unoccupied and within 2 hexes of an American unit. So if we check here for R, okay, this is an inland position. So unoccupied in Japanese communication and within 2 hexes of a US unit. For R, they get reinforced, so they're going to get a unit and a depth marker. Unit and a depth marker here. So we get a unit and an inland depth. And that goes here. And I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we'll move this guy here. Although that's an artillery position. Would that really want to do that? Well, we're just going to redeploy. It's moving closer to the US unit. And this guy, where is he? Here. We will move 1, 2, 3 to be closer. Although that is closer. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. It's the same. I guess I'll put him here. We have an unoccupied up here, but not within range of an American unit. So that should take care of that. All right. So now we move on to the double blue. I don't believe the Japanese have any double blue, and I action is not available at this current time. So that one is going to be ignored. There's no action possible there. And we move on to the double green with the P action. Okay, so double green with P. So we have double green up here. Again, I don't think we have any Japanese units that are double green. that qualify because they would have to have unit and depth. We have a unit here, no depth. We have nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. So I think we're okay there. Because with the P, that's like a patrol action, and we don't have any in an unoccupied area, unoccupied hex or position rather. There's no action for P, so that will complete their turn. So I lost my tank, and they picked up another unit. So all things considered, that's not terrible. We'll move to our U.S. action phase and start figuring out what we're going to do now on our turn. So again, we have Colonel Hall with free actions for this guy and this guy, plus the unit that's underneath him, which is a heavy infantry company. And we have engineers here as well. I doubt I'll do anything with the engineers. Then on this side, we have Colonel Shube, and his hex is actually disrupted. The units with him are disrupted, so essentially he's not going to be able to impact anything because there are no units adjacent to him. And over here we have Major Ryan, and he has units that are adjacent to him that will be able to do actions this turn. I did readjust some things because we had an event where we could only move one hex, I think, so I did move some guys around. That may have been actually before turn 9 if I think about it now. But anyway, originally I had hoped to have Major Ryan here so that I could activate both these guys. But in any case, we have this unit, the unit with Major Ryan, which is a heavy infantry, and we have another heavy infantry here. So we are going to actually move up and start trying to do some damage here to some of these other units. So we will activate this unit with the free action. We're going to move here adjacent to our red there for an attack next turn, a close combat next turn essentially. Major Ryan and the unit next to him are going to move up to here, and then this one will move as well to here. We are going to close combat this hex with these two units. Our one-step tank unit and our 4-step Company K will attack this unit here by close combat. Well, I know what I'm going to do anyway. I'm going to move Colonel Shube here to give him access to commanding these two units here. I do have a Naval Gunfire counter, but I'm not going to use it because I don't really think I have anybody good to barrage. Like, I would like to barrage this position, but I cannot because this unit does not possess a radio, and they were not adjacent to Colonel Hall at the start of the turn, which would have provided them with a radio. So that kind of takes that out. This guy's disrupted. I can't use it here. They don't have a radio. Can't use it there. They didn't start in that position, so I can't use it there. But on the other hand, I probably don't want to, because what the Naval Gunfire gives you in terms of a barrage is it disrupts and removes a depth marker. That unit doesn't have a depth marker, so I'm not going to bother wasting my my Naval Gunfire on that particular hex. I would much rather use it here. I'm going to move my tank here and use a US action taken on that. I'm going to move this tank here. That will be 2. I was going to fire here, but I don't have the flanking requirement. You know, this possesses all. It doesn't. You have to be in position to actually do flanking. And this position is tough because it's got intense fire going pretty far out in this direction. which is kind of what's keeping me from moving this guy up here. Because if I did move him there, then he would be in firing. You know what? I'm going to do it. So that will be my last action for that. And I guess I'll leave these guys alone. I was going to attack them, but I will leave them be for this turn. And so the only action I'm taking offensively, I guess, is this close combat here. So this will be a 4-on-1. Because the Japanese unit, I'll have to flip it to see if it has a close combat. It does. So that makes it a 2. This is the Special Naval Landing Force actually has their HQ there. So this is a 4-on-2. So there's 1, 2, 2, and I need 2 more for the Americans. Okay. So Japanese go first. Our color here is purple. And we do have a CC Naval Artillery Blast. Okay. So on a Naval Artillery Blast, the event card reads close combat. Naval Artillery Blast. Draw a card from the draw deck. If it does not show the color of the hex, no event. If colors match and it shows the target symbol for the U.S. Okay, I get it. I had to remember the specifics there. So if it's purple, it hits. If it has the triangle or the triangle or the diamond, it's going to hit the U.S. unit. So we draw 1 card. Does not have purple, so no effect. Okay, so now we flip our U.S. withdrawal hit. I'm not withdrawing. It doesn't have purple, so that's a no event. This is also a no event. Okay. Purple. So the U.S. Wins this close combat. We remove our HQ here. And we put it over here. And we disrupt our U.S. unit here. Okay, now we remove our disruptions. So I know that they're okay to use next turn. And we take our U.S. actions back. And there was another disruption here. And I believe that's it. No, yeah, that's a new disruption. Okay. So that would end turn 10. Now, what I'm going to do here actually is I'm going to actually end my game. And the reasoning for that is, well, there's 2 parts. One, I would like to kind of take a crack at, taking a historical position at the start of turn 11, the start of the next scenario, essentially, rather than playing the whole campaign out, because I feel like I'm in a pretty strong position for the campaign and would probably actually win the game. I know I won this. I did win the scenario, I'm pretty sure. So the victory conditions for the first scenario, if we look in our trusty rule book here, it's towards the back. Winning and losing the first waves. Okay, so catastrophic loss would be no 3-step infantry. I have plenty of 3-step infantry left on the board. The victory conditions are: at the conclusion of turn 10, determine if you win or lose. You win if 10 or more Japanese position hexes are secured by your forces. A position is secure if all 3 of these requirements are met. The position hex is occupied by a U.S. unit or garrison. All position hexes projecting intense fire into that hex are also occupied by U.S. units or garrisons. U.S. communications can be traced from the position. Okay, so counting up. Okay, we have this. This is 1. Okay, the only intense fire, there are no intense fires into this position, basically. So that's 1. This one also has no intense fire into that position. It would from this one if it had any, but it does not. So that's 2. This one here, same thing. So that's 3. And these are all in communication. So we have another one here. That's 4. 5. This one has red, so this one won't count because this has a red dot from there. So that's 5. Whoops. That's 6. That's 6 right there. 7. That one doesn't count, so that's still 7. This one doesn't count. Maybe I don't have 10. This is 8. That one doesn't count. That is 9. Well, I guess I could have, if I had known I was going to do this, all I would have had to have done is put this guy in this hex here on my last turn because I could have moved him there. You know, if I had decided before I started turn 10 and I was going to end it there, so that would have done it. I would have achieved a first waves victory. I kind of did this decided this on the fly because I could easily have, you know, moved units into this hex or this hex. I chose not to, and if I had done so, then I would obviously have met the conditions easily. I could have moved one here. There are multiple moves I could have made to actually win the game. So the other reason I'm going to end the series here is because I feel like it might be getting to the point where people are losing interest. Looking at the viewership for the first 4 parts, this being part 5, part 1 has in my opinion anyway, I'm still early days in my channel, has a pretty good viewership level. 2 and 3 are also pretty decent. Part 4 is lagging by a lot compared to the other ones. Obviously, it's been up less, it's been up for a shorter period of time, obviously, because it was done afterwards. And I'm unsure what I'll get for this one. So what I will do is, depending on, if you guys want to see it, please post in the comments that, hey, I would like to see, see the next scenario, see turn 11 and beyond with the extended rules and so forth. Please do so. I don't want to beat this into the ground. This is a great game and I do enjoy it. But at the same time, if people aren't interested, I've played the game already. And I enjoy it, but there are other games that I have not played recently or haven't played at all that are on my shelf that I want to get to the table. So I'm going to actually take this opportunity to move on to something else. And I'm going to look into getting Peleliu and or Omaha Beach and or Iwo Jima. Probably putting in a pre-order on Saipan. I really enjoy this series. I know that Iwo Jima has taken a little flack for some of the changes that were made coming off of Peleliu, and I know that there's the Saipan game is going to have some rule changes that will retroactively apply to Iwo Jima as well, and so that game may end up being much better than it has. It may end up with a much better reputation than what it currently has. So, having said all that, I'm going to wrap up my series here. I hope you've enjoyed watching. So thanks again for watching. As always, please like, share, and subscribe, particularly if you enjoy watching. If you've enjoyed this series, want to see more like this, want to see some of the other things that I've done in the past, please let me know in the comments any thoughts you might have on things I could do better or things you might like to see, or anything like that. I am all in favor of constructive criticism. So I'm sure I've made some rules errors. You guys have been good at pointing some of those out as they've come up. I appreciate it. This benefits everyone if we all kind of work together, so to speak, as far as getting things right. And again, so if you would like to see this continue, please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. Help me grow the channel. Give me some positive reinforcement to soldier on, so to speak. And so for now, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks again for watching. And until next time, I am Joe. This has been Hexed and Countered on the Legend Sport channel. Happy gaming.